Day in the life of a real estate agent. What's it like? Find out on this video today. Before we get started on everything, I want to make sure that if you like this content, you like, comment, subscribe, share, depending on which platform you're on. But other than that, we'll just go ahead and get right into it. So I got 3 things to really go over for the day in the life of a real estate agent, at least here in Wichita, Kansas, which is where I'm out of. And I'll give you an idea. And I'm just going to screen share and show you some of these things that have going on. So let me go ahead and pull that first one up. So this first one, this is kind of what I use for all of my agents come in here, and anybody honestly looking at being a real estate agent, to get an idea of what the minimum expectations are of an agent of any situation, whether you're on a team, single agent, part-time, full-time, doesn't matter. This is what is expected on everything for the amount of work that you put in, for the results you can get, and kind of give you a proper expectation of the perspective you should have. This is a tool we use we call it CAC for short. Stands for Cadence and Accountability. And it really comes down to what actions are you taking? What are you doing? And it's reverse engineered from what your goal is. So you say, like, what's my goal on a yearly perspective, and break that down by month. Most people are like, oh, I want to sell, 3+ houses a month, sell 36 houses. And that would be about, depending on your price point, 600,000 volume here in Wichita, about 18,000 GCI. And on a team, you got to split that in half typically, depending on the pay structure of the team you're on. But that's a pretty good goal to shoot for, is about 3 closings per month, to give you an idea. Now, don't underestimate how much it takes to get to that point, which is what we'll get to. But once you know your goal of how many people you want to help, how many houses you want to sell, how much money you want to make, you literally reverse engineer everything backwards from that. And honestly, it's not a guessing game. It's not a mystery of business, of any of this, when you really look at it from a sales and marketing perspective like that. So to do that, you check it, you set your goals from a yearly, monthly standpoint, but then you want to check in weekly on that to see if you're on pace, behind. Like any skill, anything you're doing, your first 30 days, you really need to give yourself enough time to onboard, understand, be familiar, get normalized to the systems. But then your second 30 days, this is where I really should change this to speed and frequency, not necessarily effort, because speed and frequency is going to make the difference of how well you know something, how competent you are at doing something. And all of these skills, if you've never done real estate before, are completely new skills you've never done before, especially if you've never been in sales and marketing. There's a lot that goes to all this. I know a lot of people want to come to this industry because they see the big commission checks and how much money is possible, which it is possible. I don't want to take away from that fact. But you do have to be a disciplined, focused performer, which is why I find like military and athletes usually do really well at this industry, because they see themselves fitting in systems. They have discipline. They can implement that speed and frequency piece of all this. And they really know how to get a result out of this, because at the end of the day, we only get paid for results as full commission, 100% commission realtors. And really, that's just being a business owner. All business owners are 100% full commission. And honestly, your job is too. If you don't show up to do your job, you're not going to get paid to do your job. So honestly, it's not really any different here. We just get paid more on the back end because we don't take all the upfront cost of everything. So if you can stomach it, if you can take it, you can make it. Enough of that sidebar. Third 30 days is when you can start seeing the results pour in. So 60 to 90 day mark, you can see all the 60 days beforehand of all your efforts starting to come through. And what you want to track as what we call a lag indicator is agencies signed. How many people do you have actively working with you saying like, hey, I want to work with you. I tell all the agents on my team, you need to get to 20 people as fast as possible, because by the nature of working with 20 people, you'll have sales naturally come through just by servicing them well, being there for people, helping with them. But you won't, when you only have like 2 to 4 buyers or 2 to 4 clients, is when you're desperate, is when this industry sucks and you're trying to think you got to do too much to sell these people. You really don't have to sell that hard in this industry. You just have to service a lot of people, a lot of capacity. And that's where like our team helps you do that, gives you the opportunities to do that. If you're trying to just be a single agent playing the hustle game, it makes it way harder to just run around and hustle everybody, because pretty much everybody and their brother is trying to do that as a single agent. And it's just doesn't work very well, put it that way. So anyway, once you know your goals of what you want to make, you know how many agencies you need to sign, And then from there, you know how many appointments you need to hold, how many you need to set, how many real estate conversations you need to have. All of this is very trackable when you actually follow a business system and get an idea of all this. So from there, you want to know how many appointments you want to go on. About 12 to 16 a month is appropriate to get 4 agencies signed to get about 3 closings a month. So don't underestimate how much work we do in order to generate the sales, generate the activity we do. Not to mention, that's just the time cost. That doesn't take into account the financial costs go with it. But that's where each day you want to be tracking, and each week and month you want to be tracking how many real estate conversations am I having? Because we know it takes about 41 real estate conversations in order for a deal to happen. And so that's where you can track how many true real estate conversations have I had in a day? And am I seeking out, or am I having with people that are legitimate real estate conversations? So then from there, you'll go to your weekly perspective and say, all right, here's my plan. And we give people a base plan of attack for everything, an action plan. This is what a true business plan looks like. It's not necessarily, one of those 80-page corporate business plans that people have out. This is a true plan of action, strategic plan that's simple. It's 1 page. You can get it done. It's simple to see. It's not simple to pull off, but it's a matter of putting check marks on all this stuff. But what we kind of look at is, you're going to expect about 30 hours a week in the office, but then you're going to have about 20 hours outside of the office as a pretty good expectation with afternoon, evening showings, weekend showings, open houses, things like that. But you want to commit to at least in office 6 hours daily from 8 to 3 p.m. or 10 to 5 p.m., depending on your schedule. So we do have some flexibility, but at the same time, you do need to be in here doing your business tasks like a professional that does this. The reason people hate realtors is because they're lazy, they're not professional, they don't take this seriously. They have this attitude of you can just sit around, do nothing. I'm recording this on a Saturday morning. I'm taking my quote unquote free time off to make this video and doing what it takes to really move my business forward. We also do team meetings weekly. On our team, you need to have a positive, engaging attitude, hungry, humble, and smart. Work all your leads, track your appointments held, appointments set, check in with agencies prior to board. CTE, which is our business tracking software, keep all that updated. And then Monday.com is our contract to close checklist, which gives you an idea. Actually, let me go ahead and just pull that up, give you a better idea. So Monday.com, this is our contract to close management checklist that we use within our team, but also any agent has to go through all these steps when it goes from contract to close. I'll show you, let's see. This is one we just recently got under contract. And you can see these are all the different steps that have to go on the backside of the transaction, from fully executed contract to set up due dates. And then this is how we coordinate with our admin. All the things in red are what the agent are doing. All the things in gray is what our admin helps to do on a team. If you don't have a team, you're just a single agent. You're literally doing all of these tasks yourself, and you are the team. You're 100% doing it yourself. And with today's fast-paced demand, usually you can't keep up as a single agent. But that gives you an idea of every step, that goes all the way through this transaction. So that's one contract to close. Here's a listing we take and the workflow checklist that needs to go on for the listing we take. Let's see. I can show you that. So this is our contract to close. Once you do have a contract, all the steps you got to follow for all that. We also have, let's show you Chime, which is our back-end CRM for working on all our leads we were talking about. So when you log into Chime and you check this out, so this gives you an idea of all the new leads we had today, 4 opportunities that people that came back to the website, 9 tasks they need to do, smart plan emails, property alerts being sent out to people. And then if you go look at leads, here's all the different lead profiles we got to work. Take off of today's opportunity. So in our system, I have 5,000 leads in here, 307 I'm reaching out to, one response. That's kind of a newer pipeline we're building. About 29 that are hot, will buy or sell a house in between now to 2 months. Got about 300 that are warm 2 months to 6 months, and about 1779 they're nurturing 6 month plus. So that gives you an idea of the database of a system we're working. Let's see, let's pick one to look at real quick. There's a bunch of site email leads. Like this Callie McHugh that we generated from Facebook, signed up 18 hours ago. She's on the outreach, but this is how we work like a lead as an example. There's obviously a lot more you can go into that, but that gives you an idea of like the leads you're working, contract to close you're working, and everything that goes into it. So hopefully that gives you a pretty good idea of like minimum expectations of what to look for. The second thing I want to show you is my schedule. Let's see. Stop share, share a different screen. One thing I hope you're picking up from this is that you got to be pretty tech savvy too. You got to be able to use technology, be in and out of systems, move fluidly between the two, and really use your technology systems to enable you to do more for people is the attitude. So if you're looking at my schedule here, obviously my schedule is a little crazy because I'm a team lead, but you can see how organized I am with everything I do. For my personal time, make sure I wake up, get my breakfast in, personal charge up before I start all my business stuff. I take care of me first, my personal stuff first, but then I also schedule in, you know, pickleball times I like to play a lot, my time to eat, time to break, my pickleball leagues at night. You know, I set boundaries for my phone, do not disturb after 8:30, go to sleep by 10, you know, so that way I've set up my personal things that I need to set up, and I'm not draining myself for the sake of business, and then I'm no good to anyone. But then from there, I also have friend time hung in there, like Steven dinner. I'm going to hang out with one of my friends. You know, a lot of this, these things you see at night here, pickleball league, that's where I hang out with a lot of my friends there too. With everything, I play a lot of pickleball. That's my big like thing outside of real estate I love to do. Don't have a wife and kids yet. I do want to eventually. Getting ready to get a dog, you know, because I got time for it. But you got to schedule those things in to make sure they're important. Like example, this morning I'm making all these videos, and then I'm doing some pickleball drilling, and then I got showings all afternoon. But that gives you an idea of where it's kind of like the morning you're working on kind of your marketing and sales outreach from the start is what you work on. And then your afternoon, evenings, you're doing a lot more of like your admin work and servicing work, depending on the team dynamic you're in. So this is what like my schedule ends up looking like. This is what I plan for it to look like. Obviously it doesn't necessarily work that way perfectly. But I still got a lot of the normal life things scheduled in here, as far as like going to breakfast, going to mass, you know, playing outside, going to the Kansas Humane Society, possibly for looking at a dog, on my pickleball times in the evenings. You know, I have friends time Friday night, personal time Saturday. So as much as like it is a high demand, high stress environment, I do make sure I schedule out time for myself, but then also I schedule time for the business so that I'm doing the right thing at the right time. And that way, when I'm doing business, I'm doing business. When I'm doing personal stuff, I'm doing personal stuff. So this gives you kind of an idea of what the day in the life of a real estate agent's like. And if you go to like next week, kind of see the same thing. So I have a routine schedule. You know, my weekends are honestly pretty free until somebody says I want to do X, Y, Z. So I'm a little bit like on call on the weekends. But that's also where my team supports me. Or if I want to leave, I want to be gone, I can't cover something, I have 3 support staff and 3 agents where we can help fill in for each other wherever we need to get the job done. So that's pretty much what I got to give you an idea for the day in life of a real estate agent. You know, if you are considering being an agent, I'm more than welcome to, or more than open to showing you more, talking to you more, discussing more, whether you're in Wichita, not in Wichita. Either way, just because one of my big passions is making sure people fully understand what this industry is about and what it takes to succeed in it. So hopefully you have learned a little bit more what it's like for the day in the life of a real estate agent. If you like this content, please do me a huge favor. Like, comment, subscribe, share, depending on what platform you're on. Go check out some of my other videos I have, real estate related, whether as a buyer, a seller, or as an agent, and we'll go from there. Thanks, guys.